Welcome back to Peace, Love and Tarot. This reading is for Virgo, Sun, Moon or Rising. And Virgo, this is your weekly intuitive tarot reading for March 16th to the 22nd. This week we have the Leap Oracle card. We have the Seven of Pentacles, Nine of Wands, Eight of Wands, Ace of Wands, Ten of Swords and the Six of Pentacles. So look, we do really have the universe is really asking you to have faith and trust and take a leap of faith on this new beginning that's coming in for you. Now, I feel like you've been in a situation for a while where potentially you just weren't, getting the rewards for the time, effort, and energy that you were putting into it. But I think that you kind of stayed on that threshold of completion for quite a while, and yeah, you probably worried about obviously the painful ending that we see here. But the good news is that when we rip off that band-aid and have that ending, that's when we can start to heal, and we can see some swift change. We see passionate new beginning, we see things coming back into balance. So that's always the reward for going through a completion and letting go of something that doesn't serve you anymore. So let's begin with the Oracle card. I'll read that out to you. Leap. It's very similar to the Fool energy, guys, so it's also, really talks about fresh start and new beginning. So you go first. The universe will catch you. Life bends for the courageous. The universe wants to support you, but first you need to leap, to throw your life up in the air. Perhaps you know what you're being called to leap toward, or away from, but are scared to make the first move. Or perhaps you are waiting for a big fat sign or instruction manual or permission to do so first. If this is you, then this card is your sign and permission slip to take a deep breath and leap into the unknown. It's scary to let go of all we know and hope for something new, but it's normal to feel anxious at the thought of letting go of what we know for sure. But this is the unavoidable process of rising. Right now, this is how you're being called to live, because there is absolutely a new beginning rising here for you, Virgo. But sometimes, pretty much always, we need to release something to create space for it. Otherwise it can't come in, or if it tries to come in, often we don't recognize the things or people, partners, all those things that are right under our nose. Maybe they have been there for a while. We hear stories about that all the time. So in your recent past here, yeah, I'm really sensing this Seven of Pentacles and Nine of Wands energy. So at a Nine of Wands, it's almost like you've been at that almost completion stage, like right before that kind of finish line, or on the threshold of bringing something to a close for quite a while. I'm sensing time in this as well, because Pentacles is slow moving energy. So ask yourself what that situation is in your life. It could be a relationship that has been stale for a very long time. Could be a toxic friendship that's past its use by date, a unsatisfying job or role that there's no growth in. And I really feel that whatever the situation is, you've weathered the storm, and there might have been some hurts along the way. Often when situations are kind of getting into their final months or even final years of completion, we can really start niggling at each other, and there can be arguments and that sort of thing. So I feel like it hasn't been an easy journey, and it is really time to tip the balance and tip this over to that 10 completion this week. And yeah, it's a 10 of Swords ending, guys. It can be painful, but sometimes it is more painful because we haven't done it when the time, when it was more timely to do so, and we've held on to it. And that's why, there's even more emotional attachment, because more time has gone past and that kind of thing. But I mean, this warrior here, he's wounded and battered and bruised, but he's still standing, he's still clutching his wand of power. So that means that there is still energy in the tank to bring this thing to a completion, whatever it is for you. Now, with the Seven of Pentacles here, I think it tells me that you've tried, you've put in your end of the bargain. You've put in the time, energy, the blood, sweat, and tears. You've really tried to do everything you can from your side. So maybe you were dealing with somebody who just wasn't reciprocating that. Maybe it was up to you to try and maybe you had to keep on adapting yourself for the other person, taking on their values, all of that kind of thing. And maybe the other person or other parties in this situation or workplace, whatever it is, was unable to be flexible and adaptable towards you. That's what I'm feeling. And I think you've got to the point where, well, you know what, you're really reflecting on the fact that your time and energy might be better spent and invested somewhere else, because you just haven't got back what you feel is an even exchange for what you've put in. And, you know, with that Seven of Pentacles, guys, you know, Pentacles being that slow moving suit, I think that you've been at this for quite a while, and maybe your energy reserves have just been drained over time. So it is time for this to come to a completion. Now the Ten of Swords is quite a final completion, and it can be, you know, a completion that comes with some hurt, some pain, some burnout or fatigue. You know, some say that it can also include a betrayal or a backstabbing or something like that. So that might be just for some of you. But, you know, like I said before, often we get to a Ten of Swords ending because we haven't, you know, ended things earlier on when it would have been easier to do so. Less emotional attachment, or, you know, before things kind of got a little bit nasty, because the swords obviously can be the hurts, the harsh words, the, you know, manipulation, all of those kinds of things. But what I do like about the Ten of Swords is that we see this bright yellow sky, which usually indicates that new beginning or the divine energy, you know, really waiting to take this darkness away, to eclipse that energy. It's like right behind there, you know, waiting to bring in that new beginning for you. It was just waiting for you to take the first step, to rip that band-aid off and to bring this to a completion, because it's saying that it is time to do so. I mean, we've got the Eight of Wands and the Ace of Wands in this reading, which both have an element of divinity about them. So the divine is literally waiting in the wings, you know, almost sitting there eating its popcorn, going, is he or she going to, you know, end this thing? Because I'm really ready to bring in the goods. That's what I'm sensing with this. So, and here are the goods. Here we go. Eight of Wands, Ace of Wands, guys. So for me, this says, you know, like maybe a dramatic, quick, divine shift. So the Eight of Wands can be, you know, a new beginning or some kind of information coming in quick and fast, and usually through some kind of, you know, across the airwaves or electronic means, maybe text message, email, social media, phone call, that kind of thing. And it's going to bring you the Ace of Wands. Now, the Ace of Wands is, like all aces in the tarot, they're new beginnings. And in particular, the Ace of Wands is a new beginning related to a passionate offer, something that's going to be on purpose for you. It's also an indicator of you getting back your zest for life again, getting back your energy and your enthusiasm and, of course, your passion. So yeah, it can be, you know, obviously it can be a new romantic partnership, you know, lots of sexual chemistry and that kind of thing. If you think this is a workplace situation for you, it can be a new job or a new role that you feel, you know, so passionate and so enthusiastic about. So it could be, you know, a phone call where you receive some news that, you know, there's a new offer for you or a new opportunity. You know, it could be sort of networking through social media, that kind of thing. And we see this wand sprouting, saying that this opportunity is ready to grow and expand for you, but you need to do the work in order to receive it. So with the all aces, you know, they are the first card, number one in each suit of the tarot. So they're like the seeds that are being planted, or the very initial rumblings of these opportunities. But if we get that phone call, if we see that perfect job, if we bump into that person that we find attractive, we need to take the action. Ace of Wands is about inspired action, so we need to, you know, grasp it, seize the day, seize the opportunity, take the leap of faith, go first, and then the universe will expand that for you. So yeah, it's really beautiful actually. Now, in the final position, guys, I had the Six of Pentacles, and I wanted to grab a clarifier, and I got two. Okay, Virgo, sorry about that. We did have my battery cut out, so I have to repeat just the end part here, which isn't too bad. So in the final position here, guys, yeah, I had the Six of Pentacles here, and wanted to grab a clarifier, and I actually got two. I got the Three of Swords and I got the Magician. So love these cards. First of all, I just want to address the fact that the Three of Swords means there could be some some hurts and some healing that needs to happen after working through this ending. I mean, even if it was you initiated this ending, then, it doesn't really mean that there's not going to be hurts associated with it. And, Three of Swords can be the loss, feeling the space that somebody or something has left. I mean, even if we've left a job, we're not going to see our friends, our colleagues are not going to be in our daily life anymore. So even though those friendships are still there, we know that we're heading into a different chapter. It can be a lot to let go of. Absolutely, with a partner, being in an empty home, living by yourself, all those kinds of things can bring up grief and sorrow and sadness and despair for us. But, having a cry, feeling the tears, feeling the sadness, that is just the first step of the healing process, the releasing, the purging. I know it feels terrible, but it's an essential part of the process to then get to, the acceptance and all of that. So do take the time that you need to do that healing. And, once we expose those wounds to the elements, they begin to heal quickly. And, I mean, that is the process here for coming back into balance with yourself. And I also feel that the time that you're moving into and the experiences and things that you're going to attract in this new beginning is going to be a much more even partnership, even relationship, even energy exchange. This is about bringing back those, re-establishing balance to those karmic scales, to those scales of life. Whereas previously, I feel like you're in a situation where maybe you were doing all of the giving, or you were in a situation that was energetically unbalanced. Well, this is now your time. It's your time to receive as well. You're being gifted here by the universe. So, those karmic scales always adds up. It always comes back. And I really feel that that's what's happening for you. And the Magician. I mean, the Magician is an awakening to the fact that you have everything you need within you. You have all the tools at your disposal in order to create a new chapter for you, to manifest abundance in your life, to be your own magic man or woman. There's also the saying with the Magician, as above, so below, which means that our external reality is usually a representation of our inner world. So that's why we need to do the healing, to transmute the sadness, maybe any residual negativity or even resent or anger from the situation, because generally we attract from that place, from what our feelings are. I definitely believe in that, the law of attraction. You show me one really, really negative person that has a really joyful, abundant life. I mean, maybe there's one or two, but I don't know how they do it. So yeah, I mean, that's what the Magician is. So we need to clean up our internal energy first so that we're attracting from that place, so that we're starting our new journey from that place. So I love the Magician. It's a very powerful energy. It's coming back into taking that power back to now manifest and attract situations that are going to be abundant and balanced for our lives. And I just wanted to say with this energy here, which is Leap, which is pretty much the oracle equivalent of the Fool card, guys, is that the message is to trust in the journey, have hope and faith that things will work out, even if we don't know, what the destination is or what's going to happen with that person that's coming in or where that job opportunity is going to lead. It's about trusting the process and, walking through that doorway anyway, understanding that if we do take that leap of faith, the universe will provide that safety net, because we never, have all those answers up front anyway. It's about now, connecting with that rebel heart and, attracting and taking on the experiences that are aligned with us and our higher selves, rather than just doing, the things that we feel that we should do, or, always looking out for the needs of others rather than ourselves. This is time for you to manifest what you want for your life to become happy and balanced within yourself. And when you're in that position, that's when you attract the perfect partner, effortlessly, abundance, work, and all of those things. So Virgo, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed the reading. Do keep in mind it's a general reading, so it won't be for every one of you guys. But feel free to leave me a comment, because I always love to know if it resonates and how things are unfolding for you day to day. And I'll see you back here next week for another reading.